Rejection doesn't hurt because you're weak, it hurts because it's engineered to. Picture it. You send the message. You see the seen stamp. Then nothing. Minutes stretch into hours. Your stomach drops. Your chest tightens. Your throat narrows, as if your body is preparing to swallow an insult. You tell yourself it's fine. You pretend you don't care. But your nervous system doesn't listen to your pride. Or it's a group chat. Everyone is laughing, planning, moving. Your name isn't mentioned. Your invite never arrives. You reread the thread to find the moment you got erased. Heat climbs up your neck. Your jaw locks. A simple absence turns into a verdict. Or it's an email. We've decided to move forward with other candidates. Clean, polite, surgical. Your mind races. Maybe I should explain. Maybe one more message. Maybe if I'm perfect, they'll reverse it. Then comes the cold no in person. A look away, a smile that doesn't reach the eyes. A door that closes without anger, just certainty. You walk back into silence and your body reacts like you've been struck. Your appetite disappears, your shoulders sink. You feel smaller in your own skin. This is not you being fragile, this is biology. Your brain was built in an era where exclusion meant danger. A man without a tribe didn't just feel sad, he died. So your nervous system treats rejection as a threat to survival. It floods you with stress chemicals. It scans for what you did wrong. It demands immediate repair. That's why you feel the urge to chase, to apologize, to overperform. Rejection doesn't just sting your feelings, it triggers your emergency systems. But there's a second layer that makes it brutal: status. Human beings live inside hierarchies, whether they admit it or not. And rejection is not only loss of connection, it's a signal, real or imagined, that your rank just dropped. Your mind hears no and translates it into less wanted, less respected, less valuable, less safe. That translation is what turns a moment into a wound that throbs for days. And that's why it feels so personal. The brain can't separate social pain from physical threat. It alarms you, not to torment you, but to force action, any action, right now. Here's the open secret: the pain is useful. It's designed to force you back into alignment with the group. It's a leash that snaps tight the moment you step out of line. And once you understand that, you stop treating rejection like a mystery and start treating it like a mechanism. Machiavelli would tell you the same thing he told rulers. Whoever controls fear controls behavior. If someone can make you terrified of being disliked, they don't need chains. They only need the possibility of withdrawal, a cold shoulder, a delayed reply, a hint of disapproval, and you'll negotiate against yourself just to get warmth back. That is why rejection can dominate your life. Not because it happens often, but because you organize your choices around avoiding it. You stay quiet to keep approval. You tolerate disrespect to stay included. You shrink your ambition to avoid criticism. So understand this before we go further. The pain isn't the enemy. The enemy is what you do to escape the pain. The enemy is the interpretation that says, "This proves something about me," and the desperate behavior that follows. Rejection is a signal, a test, a blade that cuts off illusions and exposes where you are still dependent. Learn to stand inside that sting without surrendering your dignity, and it stops being a wound and becomes training. The rejection happens in 1 second. What destroys you happens afterward. Because your mind doesn't treat no as information, it treats it as a courtroom summons, and the moment the door closes, the inner tribunal begins. Picture the sequence: you're alone, the screen is dark, the room is quiet, and suddenly your brain starts rehearsing evidence like it's preparing a trial. What did I say wrong? What did I do? What did I miss? You replay the moment, with microscopic cruelty, pausing on your tone, your timing, your face, your confidence, searching for the flaw that explains why you were denied. That's rumination. It pretends to be problem-solving, but it's actually self-punishment dressed as analysis. Real thinking moves forward. Rumination circles the same wound to keep it bleeding, because bleeding feels like certainty. Then comes catastrophic storytelling. One no turns into a prophecy. If she didn't reply, I must be forgettable. If they didn't hire me, I'll never win. If they didn't invite me, everyone is laughing without me. Your mind leaps from a single event to a whole future because uncertainty is unbearable. It would rather hand you a brutal narrative than leave you floating in the unknown. Next, mind reading. You don't just imagine their decision, you imagine their thoughts. They think I'm pathetic, they're judging me, they're disgusted, they're relieved I'm gone. And notice the trick. You can't verify any of it, which means the story can never be disproven. It stays alive, feeding itself. Then you globalize. This always happens. I always get rejected. Nobody ever chooses me. That word, always, is the poison. It turns an episode into an identity. Now, you're not dealing with a rejection. You're dealing with a sentence about your worth. And underneath all of it is the status brain, the ancient part of you that cares less about truth and more about rank and safety. It doesn't ask, is this accurate? It asks, am I safe in the tribe? So it invents harsh explanations, because harsh explanations create a plan. Fix yourself, perform better, beg harder, make them like you. Certainty, even ugly certainty, feels safer than ambiguity. This is why you chase closure. You don't want understanding. You want relief from uncertainty. You want the judge to bang the gavel and end the noise in your head. So you reach for behaviors that temporarily soothe the panic, then quietly destroy your position. You over-explain, long messages, context, apologies. You try to argue your way back into being valued. But the more you explain, the smaller you look, because you're announcing that their opinion has the power to define you. You beg, directly or indirectly, just tell me what I did. I was only trying to. I didn't mean. You turn yourself into a defendant pleading for mercy. You revenge post. You perform indifference. You broadcast, I'm fine, like a weapon. Not because you're confident, but because you're trying to regain status in public after losing it in private. Or you disappear. You ghost first, so you can call it choice. You withdraw, so you don't have to face another no. You protect yourself by shrinking your life. Or you people please. You become nicer, softer, more available, hoping that if you remove friction, you'll stop being rejected. That's the deepest trap, treating rejection as proof you should erase yourself. Here is the truth most people miss. You are not reacting to rejection. You are reacting to the meaning you assigned to it. The event was a closed door. Your mind turned it into, I am less. But value isn't decided by one person's appetite. A refusal can mean misfit, timing, their fear, their bias, their limited vision. None of that is your identity at all. And as long as you believe rejection equals lowered value, you will keep chasing, explaining, performing, and panicking, because you're not trying to win them back. You're trying to win yourself back. Rejection feels personal because you were taught to see it as an emotional event. It's not. Most of the time, it's a political signal. Machiavelli understood something modern people pretend isn't real. Human beings are constantly sorting, not always consciously, not always cruelly, but always. Sorting for value, for fit, for safety, for status, for advantage. And rejection, is one of the cleanest tools that sorting uses. It draws a line. It communicates boundaries. It establishes scarcity. It protects hierarchy. Sometimes it's simply practical. Other times it's strategic. But either way, it's power. There are 3 kinds of rejection you must learn to read, because if you misread them, you will bleed dignity trying to fix the wrong thing. First, filtering rejection. This is the simplest and the healthiest. It's not aligned. The job isn't right. The person isn't compatible. The room isn't your room. This rejection is the world doing you a favor, but most people still interpret it as humiliation because they're addicted to being chosen. They don't want fit. They want validation. Filtering rejection is clean. It has no malice. It's the universe saying, "Not here." And if you have self-respect, you don't argue with it. You adjust your aim. You move. Second, status rejection. This is where it gets cold. Status rejection happens when someone denies you access to protect their rank, their image, or their position. It's not about your worth in absolute terms. It's about their incentives. A colleague blocks your idea because it would make them look smaller. A friend keeps you at arm's length because your growth highlights their stagnation. A romantic interest withholds commitment because commitment would reduce their leverage. The rejection is not, "You're nothing." The rejection is, "I'm not giving you that power over me." This is why some rejections feel disrespectful, even when they're subtle. You can sense the hierarchy underneath. You can sense the unspoken message, "Know your place." And if you don't understand status dynamics, you will respond like a beggar. You'll try to prove you deserve the seat. You'll try to earn approval from someone whose entire goal is to remain above you. That's how status rejection turns into obsession. Third, control rejection. This is the poisonous one. Control rejection isn't about fit or rank. It's about extraction. It's rejection used as a tool to make you chase, conform, and perform. This is the person who goes cold to punish you. The manager who withholds praise so you work harder. The lover who gives mixed signals so you stay anxious. The friend who excludes you just enough to keep you desperate for re-inclusion. It's not a no, it's a leash. They give you warmth, then remove it. They respond, then disappear. They praise, then criticize. And your nervous system starts doing gymnastics to restore the old feeling. You think you're pursuing love or opportunity. In reality, you're pursuing relief. These are the games: silence as punishment, mixed signals as bait, exclusion as a test, public neglect to lower your status. I'm just busy when they're not. Let's see when they already decided. The goal is to keep you uncertain because uncertainty makes you pliable. And here's the crucial insight. Control rejection only works on people who fear rejection. If you can't tolerate the sting, you become governable. You will trade your standards for access. You will betray your boundaries for a chance to be chosen. You will accept bad deals, ugly treatment, and humiliating ambiguity because your nervous system thinks losing them is death. This is why rejection is power. The person who can say no without trembling has leverage. The person who can walk away without collapsing has leverage. And the person who fears the no becomes the one who negotiates against themselves. Watch what happens when you stop chasing, not theatrically, not as a manipulation, just clean withdrawal, no long messages, no emotional essays, no apology tours. You say, "Understood," then you redirect your life. Some people will respect you instantly because they sense you're not desperate. Others will suddenly try to pull you back, not because they value you, but because they miss the control. That reaction will teach you everything you need to know about what the relationship was really built on. So stop asking only, why did they reject me? Start asking, what did this rejection reveal about the system I was trying to enter? Fit, status, or control? Because once you can read the politics of rejection, you stop treating every closed door like a funeral. You stop bleeding your dignity for answers. And you become dangerous in the calm way, someone who cannot be bought with approval or controlled by absence. If you want to use rejection to your advantage, you have to stop treating it like a verdict and start treating it like a drill. Because rejection is inevitable, but collapse is optional. The difference between a person who gets stronger and a person who gets bitter is not how often they're rejected. It's what they do in the first 60 seconds after it happens. That moment decides the direction of your mind for the next day, sometimes the next year. So here is the conversion protocol. 4 steps, no therapy talk, no motivational fluff, just mechanics. Step 1, name the hit. Before you do anything, you acknowledge what just happened in your body. Tight chest, heat in face, drop in stomach, urge to explain, urge to chase. That physical jolt is your nervous system screaming, danger. If you don't name it, you obey it. So you label the emotion with one word: rejected, embarrassed, angry, afraid, disappointed. Not because labeling makes you soft, but because labeling turns chaos into data. And data can be handled. The moment you say, this is shame, you stop saying, this is me. Then you do one physical reset to remove the spike. 10 deep breaths, cold water on the face, a brisk walk around the block, 20 push-ups, anything that tells the body, we are not dying. Most spirals aren't intellectual, they're chemical. Treat the chemical first. Step 2, extract the signal. Rejection always contains information. Most people miss it because they're busy bleeding self-esteem. Ask one question. What did this reveal? Was it fit? Was it status? Was it control? If it's fit, good. You just save time. If it's status, you just learned the incentives of that room. If it's control, you just spotted the leash. Either way, you gained intelligence. And be ruthless here. Do not confuse I feel worthless with I learned something. Worthlessness is an emotion. Learning is a skill. Separate them. Write the signal in a single sentence. This person values scarcity. This company filters for credentials. This group uses exclusion to enforce hierarchy. This isn't aligned. One sentence. Clean. Now the rejection becomes a map, not a wound. Step 3. Reclaim the frame. This is where most people lose their dignity. They rush to repair the rejection by making themselves smaller, nicer, louder, more available, more explainable. They send long messages. They beg for feedback. They over-apologize. They try to talk themselves back into value. Stop. Your goal is not to convince them. Your goal is to keep your sovereignty. So your responses become short, calm, and final. The script is designed to prevent you from bleeding status. Understood? No worries. Thanks for letting me know. Not a fit. Appreciate the clarity. Notice what these lines do. They communicate that you received the information and you're not negotiating your worth. They also leave no hooks, no openings for manipulation, no emotional spill. And if you're dealing with control, rejection, mixed signals, silence, push-pull games, your strongest move is the clean exit. No speech, no punishment, no dramatic unfollow campaign, just removal of access. Because the one thing control games cannot tolerate is a person who doesn't chase. Step 4. Convert pain into proof. This is the alchemy. This is where rejection becomes advantage. Pain is energy. If you don't convert it, it turns inward and becomes shame. If you convert it, it becomes momentum. So within 24 hours, you take an action that produces proof of competence. Rejected for a job? Apply to 5 more. Improve 1 skill. Build 1 portfolio piece. Rejected socially? Train your body. Improve your appearance. Build your network. Create value. Rejected romantically? Don't stalk. Don't plead. Upgrade your life and expand your options. The point isn't revenge. The point is to teach your nervous system a new association. Rejection does not equal paralysis. Rejection equals movement. Rejection becomes a trigger for action, not a trigger for collapse. Now, to make this permanent, you need controlled exposure. Most people are sensitive to rejection because they avoid it. Avoidance makes it bigger. So you deliberately collect small rejections to build immunity. Ask for a discount. Pitch an idea. Start conversations. Apply to things slightly above your level. Get used to hearing no without flinching. This is social training. Like lifting weights, you don't become strong by waiting for the perfect moment. You become strong by letting your ego suffer small, controlled losses until it stops panicking. And here's the bonus nobody tells you. This builds charisma. Because non-neediness signals value. The person who can handle rejection without begging, without sulking, without revenge, without collapsing, sends one message: I have options, I have standards. I don't need you to define me. That calm is magnetic, not because it's a trick, but because it's rare. Most people are desperate to be chosen. The person who chooses themselves first becomes hard to manipulate and strangely attractive. So, the next time rejection hits, don't ask, how do I make it stop hurting? Ask the better question, how do I use this pain to become unbuyable? When you stop fearing rejection, your whole personality hardens into something clean. Rejection stops being a wound and becomes a filter. It removes weak attachments. It exposes bad rooms. It reveals who needs you small and who respects you whole. And most importantly, it forces you to refine your standards. You stop treating any invitation as a blessing. You stop accepting crumbs as proof you're chosen. You stop negotiating for approval like it's oxygen. Because the truth is simple. The world doesn't respect the person who begs to be included. It respects the person who can walk away without a speech. That's the sovereign shift. You move from applicant to selector, from chasing to choosing, from please want me to does this align with my life? And the moment your identity becomes internal instead of borrowed, the no loses its ability to humiliate you. A door closes, and you don't collapse. You redirect, you build, you keep your posture. This is why the person who can be rejected can't be controlled. You can't bribe them with attention. You can't blackmail them with exclusion. You can't silence them with the threat of disapproval. They're calm under pressure because pressure no longer touches their worth. So let rejection do its job. Let it expose misfit. Let it reveal manipulation. Let it sharpen your aim. Let it train your nervous system into steel. Seek truth over validation. Seek fit over fantasy. Seek mastery over applause. Because whoever can tolerate rejection becomes unbuyable. And in a world where everyone sells themselves for comfort, the unbuyable person becomes the one everyone secretly respects.